am Javon Gray, and if you are new here, I help high achieving women escape the anxiety matrix. So, the loops of overthinking, reactivity, and stress that typically rob you of the experience of actually enjoying the life that you work real hard um, to secure for yourself or to build around yourself. So, you've done too much inner work to be this tired, right? You read the books, you journal through the pain, you had the hard conversations. So, why are you still spiraling? Why are the same emotional patterns still showing up in your marriage, with your kids, at work, in your own head? This is part one of a series that I'm kicking off where we're digging into exactly why this happens and how to finally shift out of it. So, drop mirror in the chat if this is already hitting for you. And I can send you the details on my brand new one-to-one experiences. There are 3 levels to it, and they will be around and available for the next 7 days. So it is built for exactly this version of you. Powerful, self-aware, and stuck in patterns that you thought that you had already healed. So here are the reasons why you are still stuck. So the first is the first most common reason, I should say, is that you tell yourself, I should be past this by now, right? And I call this the lie. Because whenever we're saying what should be happening, that means that we are recognizing what is happening right now, and we are negating it. We're refusing it. We're rejecting it. That is a lie, right? What we have right now, what is happening right now, what is going on right now is the truth. So whenever we are saying what should be happening, we are refusing to be in the isness of right now. We're refusing to be in reality, and every single time, every single trip, you will miss things. You won't be able to see things clearly. And so you will perpetuate that cycle. The second, but healing, because healing isn't linear, right? It's not a ladder. And it's not even necessarily a spiral. It oftentimes doesn't make sense. You could have an experience and within moments or a moment be completely unaffected by something that you felt like it's dragged you down emotionally, it's dragged you down spiritually for decades. It doesn't always make sense. We tend to have to come back to the same lessons over and over and over again. That's why it doesn't necessarily follow a straight line and it's not a ladder. And it seems like it's a spiral because we circle back around and do the same things over and over again, but it doesn't have to be that way. And the way to break out of it is what we are going to cover here today. But whenever we're going back and we're seeing the same thing come up over and over again, then we have to honor the fact that we are clearly not seeing things clearly, right? So like, for example, let's just say there's a glass of water in front of me right now. If I know that what's inside of that glass is poisonous, I know that if I drink it, I will die. If I want to die, I will drink it. If I don't want to die, I won't drink it. There's not going to be like any sort of like confusion around it. There's not going to be this buildup of thoughts. You don't overthink that, right? The only time that you would start to overthink it is if you don't see the situation clearly. So if you're like, well, maybe it's not actually poisonous, maybe I'll just get sick or whatever, like you start to make things impose a different set of rules, or you start to layer your thought processes over reality. And the main reason why we would ever start to layer our any thoughts over what is happening right now is to distract us from feeling it. So if we do want to die, but we've been told for years and years and years that we're not supposed to, that it's a very that it's the wrong thing to do. It's not the Christian thing to do. That you're going to be punished for that. That if you drink this and you don't die, that there's going to be some other sort of consequence or something like that, right? So it's that previous conditioning, right? The decades and um, decades, centuries, right, and generations of um, belief that's been passed on, that will make things a lot less clear. So the third is coping does not equal clarity. As a matter of fact, it's the farthest thing from it. Whenever you are trying to cope with what is going on, in reality, instead of accepting it, right, and feeling whatever it is that situation brings out of you, whenever you're trying to do that, you are intentionally um, like shielding yourself, blurring the lines, blurring your vision on a situation, because in the short term, it makes you feel better. So, whenever you're looking to be out of that situation, right? Like, okay, right now, I'm in a lot of belly pain, and I would rather not be in this belly pain. So instead of me being the person that's in pain and dealing with that, I'm thinking about, well, I shouldn't even eat this, because even feeling shame or guilt behind some sort of action feels better than sitting and being the person who is in pain, regardless of the reason, right? There is no there's probably no reason. But um that is what that looks like. So those are the main three reasons. Now, when it comes to what um, what actions or what things that you're doing on a regular basis that keep this loop alive, the first one is overthinking as avoidance. So we kind of alluded to that in a previous point, but you're not processing. You are problem solving. You're saying, like, your brain thinks that if it just figures it out, right, the things will go away. If you can put it all in its little buckets, you can try to reorganize things in in your mind, that it will feel better, and it might feel better in the short run, but again, it restarts that loop. Whenever things can't happen around you, people can't say things around you, it can't rain outside, you can't be, stuck in traffic. The car in front of you can't randomly and quickly interject themselves in front of you while you're driving. Like, whenever you can't accept those things, right? Um, you are going to come up with these problems. You're going to have an issue with coping around you. The second is overcommitting while you're emotionally unraveling. So most of the time we say yes, we put more things on our calendar because it feels safer to perform, right? Even the things that we will schedule for, like self-care, right? Or like at least physical self-care, we will it feels like something that's safer to do. It feels like a straight shot. Like, if I schedule my massage appointment, which I've had a massage that was gifted to me by my husband months ago, and I still have not scheduled it, and I will be scheduling it because I like massages. But it feels safer to perform wellness than to be witnessed unraveling. And so we like to schedule all the things, and get our nails done, get our hair done, you know do the outside things, because we want to look a certain way, and it's easier, it's more straightforward. If I go to get my nails done and I go to my trusted nail tech, she always, hook me up, blah, blah, blah. I know that I can be more certain that when I leave, my nails are going to be, they're going to come out how I want them to. And um, that's going to do whatever for me it does, right? So if that makes me feel a little bit more polished, right? Pun intended. If that makes me feel a little bit more, um, if it gives me at least that feeling that I've done something for myself, whatever that is, then it does that, and it's like a straight shot. Like that's it's at least the 85% chance, unless there's something that's a little bit off, and I got to look at it for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. But it's an 85 to 99% chance, depending on, your nail tech or whatever it is that you do for yourself. Whereas if you have a specific emotional goal or a spiritual wellness goal, not only do you have to factor in your ability to learn and grow in this practice, or to, I don't know, achieve or attain whatever it is that you're trying to achieve or attain, but you know that there is a possibility that you can do all the things and still not gain the deeper understanding that you need in order to have healing occur, or um, that you might get all of these things, right? Achieve, cross all of these milestones, and still not feel the thing that you think that getting to a spiritual level that you haven't gotten to yet will get you, right? You have no idea what it's going to do because you've never been there. Um, and so there's a little bit more like of a tangibility. There's a little bit more of a, um, you feel more like it's a reliable thing to count on performing wellness than you do attaining wellness or achieving it, actually seeing that play out internally. So you stay busy, right? Instead of being with what is actively breaking your heart, right? So the third, um, the third thing that keeps this loop alive is seeking insight without implementation. And I feel like this is one of the biggest. And this was one that I had going on for a long thing. For a long time, and still doing certain areas, even in my business. If I want to implement something that someone asked me to do, or suggested that I do in order to grow my business, I tend to not necessarily table something, but I will put things on hold until I have enough time to do some research or try to figure out how else I could pull this off, even if I have done the thing before. So I'm in a business coaching program. It's a year-long container. And if my coach says, okay, you should, I mean, just post like yesterday, she said, Javon, pretty much, it doesn't matter what it is that you post, as long as you post something, right? Like you are giving people the opportunity to buy something from you, right? Like it doesn't matter what you say, you're never going to convince people to buy anything. You are giving them the opportunity to buy, so post. Well, I had been, and she has said that to me before in a different way. And I don't even know if she was necessarily talking to me, but she said that. And I know she said some version of that at least once. So far, I've been in her program for like 8 months. 7 or 8 months. And I'm pretty sure she said this to me at some point before, because when she said it, it echoed um, as if I had heard it before, but it sunk into me this time. And what had happened before was I was thinking like, well, but I still don't know what to post, but I don't a lot, I don't even post on social media. I never did that often before I had a business. I would just post my kids every now and then, or post, you know, I don't know, something I was celebrating or something like that, like a few times a year. But now I'm posting all the time. I'm posting every day. I'm da 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 da. What do I do now? you know? So still kind of trying to put something, um, seeking not only validation, but some sort of guide in something, in an area that only you can do, right? Because what oftentimes happens. So another quick story is that I had someone reach out to me via DMs like a couple weeks ago. She had responded to one of my reels, DM'd me some sort of emoji. I sent her out the resource and I was like, hey, later on I followed up like, hey, um did you get a chance to download it? What did you think? And she was like, yeah, well, it was a lot of the things that I had already known. And um again, if you are new here, then allow me to introduce myself. My name is Javon Gray, and I don't believe that there's anything that I can tell you what it is that I think about the information that's circulating, but I'm not inventing anything, right? It's very likely that you already know, and the people who I'm speaking to already know what to do. They already have, um, they've already heard a lot. They are actively seeking healing and growth, right? Like they understand that they are stuck in the anxiety matrix, even if they don't call it that. They understand that they're not seeing things clearly, and they understand that um, there are other ways of feeling and being, and they are interested in trying things in order to get there. And so I'm not like, coming up with a all new thing. It's just that I am putting together the things that have worked for me and are working for my clients, and I'm presenting it to people. I'm working through things with people. I'm individualizing the content for the person who I work with. That is what I do. And so it's not, oh, well, I heard it all before. So my question was to that person was like, so then what did you do, right? What did you do with that information before? And why would you request this guide if you have already heard the thing? Like, why do you keep requesting information, and what are you doing? Because another thing that I do when people request guides is, if they're interested, I will engage with them in a conversation about what it is that they're working on. And so if you are working on something, the best thing that you can do is to stop reading. Stop reading. Stop um searching for, all the things. You don't need to know every single thing you could possibly do to decrease your overwhelm. You don't need to know every single thing you could possibly do in order to reduce the effects of chronic stress on your life. You don't need to know every single thing that you can do in order to decrease reactivity. You don't need that. What you need to do is experience whatever it is that's going on in your body. Get to understand what it is, because the more that you can, when you are unafraid to sit in it and sit with it, you're more likely to notice what's at the root. You can ask yourself the questions, you can do the exploration to figure it out for yourself. And once you see it clearly, right? Once you see your pattern clearly, you don't have to do anything. You will know, this cup on my desk has a poisonous substance inside of it. And if I drink it, I'm going to die. And you will either not drink it or you will drink it. And that is going to be that. Right. And so now, of course, I say that. And it seems like it's a very simple thing to do, but it's not as simple when you are actually living out your life. That is why the programs are created. That is why the groups, the personalized one-on-ones, that's why we meet. That's why we have, messenger or telegram chats back and forth, is because it feels a whole lot different as you're living your life. And I choose to walk with people through that. So that's probably not even that's the one that I see the most, the seeking insight without implementation. But it's really not, it's probably not the most important. They're all very important. But that's the one that kind of, like I said, because I see it the most, I have the most stories about it. Now, the fourth and final one that we'll cover today on this live stream is waiting for life to calm down. So this is super, and it's similar to what I was saying too about my own habit when it comes to certain things like social media growth. Is like, sis, life is not going to get quieter. There will be a different type of thing. So similar to pregnancy, similar to motherhood, right? Like people are like, oh, I love the baby phase, but they're only a baby for how long? Or you only like, I like the first 2 months because they don't really do nothing, or like, I don't like the first 2 months because they ain't doing nothing. I like it when they start crawling around. Whatever. It's all a different type of it's a different type of different. So, there are things that I love about having a newborn baby, right? Like, boom, that relief of being pregnant, um, uh the breastfeeding too, I'm into that. I really do like it. But I mean, even breastfeeding has some discomfort associated with it, and everything. But I still love it. I mean, I never did anything but breastfeed, but I would prefer it. I only breastfed because I preferred it over doing something like formula feeding. But um, I love having a baby that's a couple months older or younger because um, they're just snuggly and they just lay on you. And that's literally all they want to do. All they want to do is eat and be snuggled and or not, right? Some babies are really just like, just let me be here for a little bit. Um, they want to stay dry, etc. Right? It seems a lot more simple, even though on the other side, there's a lot less sleep, a lot less for me anyway, with my newborns, a lot less like continuity of sleep, right? So 2 and 3 hour increments of sleep at a time versus and every now and then you'll get a 4 hour break. That's how my kids were. I didn't get very many 6 hour breaks or anything like that, especially not in the first couple of months. Okay, boom. So oftentimes when we're in it, we're like, well, I just need to wait until I start getting more consistent sleep or longer intervals of sleep. That's what I need in order to move. Well, then you get a longer interval of sleep, but then when you're up and when the baby's up, they're more active, right? So when you get to 6 to 9 months, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't really just leave them there. They liable to roll over onto the floor, and stuff like that. So it becomes a different, like the stress is different. I've had people, so my children are 2, 4, and 6. I've had um, a mom who was on the other side. I call it the other side when they got older kids, especially grown kids. And her youngest is, I think, 21 or 23. And she was saying, like, no, it actually gets worse. You worry more about your children when they're old. Okay, it's a different type of different, right? It's a different type of stress because or a different thing that you don't like and thing that you do like, right? But there are going to be both at any stage of life, at any moment in time, no matter what. So you thinking like, okay, I can't wait till I ain't got to clean another diaper when they all potty trained, right? I mean, I'm at least there. Like my son is mostly potty trained, almost completely potty trained, but or I mean, he's potty trained. He knows where to go. But sometimes he just don't make it or don't want to. So, that is that. But just in full transparency. But I'm there. I'm pretty much there. Like I'm not like constantly diapering and that type of thing. And he can get up into the car and get into his seat and start buckling himself up. And so all of my children at this point can get in the car, put their seatbelts on and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So I'm at the next level. But then they all got wants and they all got their emotions and their attitudes, and they're all in this space where they can be very explosive with their emotions and their attitude. And then I gotta watch it. So it's like at no point will it be the perfect time for you to do anything. Okay. A storm is not going to pause so that you can do your healing, right? Like you become the calm, you become the center. And you can do that by learning how to hold yourself when everything around you is super loud. Cool. So I just want to close by saying this. You are not broken, but the way that you're trying to solve this isn't working anymore, right? You've outgrown that phase of healing where the goal is just survival. And so I will go over the details real quick of just how the tiers of these offers work. So there are 3. And the first I'm calling the mirror moment, right? So you get 1 day of messenger support with this. So this is for the folks who are very well versed in multiple different healing modalities. They know pretty much how to do it. They're more stuck on what is it that I need to get to the root of. They're looking for someone to listen to them and let them know where where they are stuck. Period. Right. So oftentimes it's hard for us, very difficult for us to see ourselves and our own patterns. This mirror moment is for people who just want to identify what is going on um, so that they can start to get to the root themselves and work through it. Right. Like sometimes we need people to name it. So that is tier one. Tier two is the course correct. This is a catalyst framework intensive. So there's one intensive. So right, so that's for 1 day, and then 30 days of messenger support following that. So it's 1 day one-on-one, 30 days of one-on-one messaging support. And so this is where you get clear on where to start. I developed for you a bespoke or personalized custom 90-day game plan, and you get support with it as you begin, right? This is for people who, again, are more confident in their ability to pick up where they left off with whatever um, healing path they're working on. I'm most familiar with and tend to um, offer insight on specific modalities. So things that are of or inspired by yoga, karma yoga, yana yoga, and I don't think it's anything wrong with the body postures or the asanas. So we can we can do a little bit of that too. But of course, I don't necessarily give you necessarily a prescription for that, but that that is usually where I'm shooting from in terms of helping you to move through things. Um, but if you have your own healing modality that you want to use, especially if I'm familiar with it, if it has something to do with self hypnosis, if it has something to do with emotional freedom technique, if it has something to do with what's another certification that I have. I got a lot of them. I can help you if you have a particular path that you want to be on. But again, this is for somebody who's looking for 30 days of messenger support. And then the third tier is the immersion. And so this is an inferno. You get a catalyst intensive and you get an inferno session. So um, 2 days of intensive sessions and then 90 days of support. And so this is where you get clear on how to sustain it, how to turn this into like how to rewire whatever habit, emotional habit you want to focus on for that 90-day period. And so we go into a deep dive on different emotional patterns that will shift your patterns for good. I'm sorry, emotional practices that'll shift your emotional patterns for good. And so I stay by your side the whole way. So if you feel stuck in a pattern that you thought you'd already healed, then this is for you. If you keep doing the work, but you never feel done, then this is for you. If you want clarity and not more coping mechanisms, then this is for you. If you know how it feels to be grounded, but you can't seem to get back there right now, then this is for you. If you want to stop spiraling and start sustaining peace, then this is for you. And if you're ready to try support that actually sees you, then this is for you. And all you got to do in order to get started is send me a direct message simply with one-on-one, right? So you can do that as a ratio. You can type it all out. You can do it however it is that you feel. But you DM me one-on-one, and then I can get you more details on how we can get started.